text in my head. Alright. Hello everyone, welcome to the weekly Wednesday and Lunchtime live stream on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. I am DDO's Community Manager, Cordovan, and I'm going to be with you for the next hour, having some of the latest news, and then we're going to roll into a little bit of time off on my part by hanging out and doing some night revels here, I think, to end the show today. It's loud. Yeah, I need to fix that. I have not, like I said, in my midst of trying to get things done, I forgot to reset my microphone level. And now it's not calling up because it wants to do a Windows update. Fine. We're just gonna have to roll with it. If I'm too loud, let me move the mic back a little bit. Alright. Alright, hello, Jesse, Carl, Todd, Mark over on Facebook. I'm not yet seeing chat over on YouTube, but it does appear to be there. How were the fireworks? The fireworks were basically non-existent this year. The local fireworks aren't taking place until August, and I watched the Boston fireworks on modern kind of streaming television, and the quality was really, really pretty poor. So, unfortunately, it was a little bit like looking at the Minecraft version of the fireworks due to artifacting on the stream that I was using. But otherwise it was pretty alright. Hope everyone had a decent long weekend nonetheless. You know, it's pretty nice. So, as I kind of mentioned at the start of the show, I'm going to be taking a little bit of time off here. So, I'm not going to be here next week. So, no show next week. There was also going to be no Chronicle this week, no Chronicle next week as well. Might tell you a little bit of something about when I'm going to be gone, but if you think that means you can get away with something, no, it'll be fine, though. We do have people, you know, looking at things. We do have things that will be taking place, and for the most part, I shouldn't actually have to do too much work here while I'm on vacation, so that's kind of nice. Update ETA, not yet publicly ready to release. However, I do have some news today. So, let me get to the news. Also, is there a chatter about making a triple class TR to a free feat like in racials and leaving 1-time and 2-time a used feat? I have not heard of any plans to make a triple class TR into a free feat. Sorry. Yes, that's going to lead off the news there, Graskitch. We do have summer sales happening. We heard you loud and clear last week on the sales and promotion front. So, got some good news for you, though. That means tomorrow, by mid-afternoon, whenever the sales go live, it's usually somewhere between about, 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Eastern, we are going to be doing week 1 of the summer sales. We got 4 weeks of summer sales. However, I'm not allowed to tell you what is actually going to be on sale tomorrow. You're going to have to wait. But we're going to generally fall in the line of something at 30% off, at least one thing, if not more, at 50% off, and then some kind of biggie at 75% off. So, stay tuned as to more about that, kind of what all that means. But there you go. So, that'll be kicking off tomorrow, late morning Eastern time. In terms of what else is going on, we do have the Spooky Summer event taking place, and I believe, let me double check my announcement dating on that. I believe that runs through Sunday. Or is it through Tuesday? Let me double check my dating before I say for sure. But that's happening. I think this is the final weekend for that. So, hey, go and enjoy. Correct. Through July 11th. So, that means through Sunday. On Monday, Night Revels, the 200% reward ingredients that you get from Night Revels, the 10% Reaper XP boost, Devilish Monster Champions, and Double Mysterious Remnants will be going away. Just a reminder, we are going to be expiring the ingredients between now and the time Night Revels comes back. So, Don't go grinding a bunch of Night Revels ingredients under the impression you can use them next time. You will not be able to. So, but it's a good way to get whatever stuff you weren't able to get done last October in particular. Make sure you get that done, because you're getting 200% stuff. And this is your chance. So, through July 11th on that. We've also been hearing that the players in general, I think, have had very positive things to say about the Devilish Monster Champions being added to the game. So, I think we're going to take that under advisement and consider whether or not we should do something there. And I guess that's about all I'd say about that here today. It's true. I actually do no work. No, I actually do a lot of work. That's what I'm saying. Well, if we don't even notice he's gone, huh? Yeah. So. Any chance of autos boxes? Haven't, nothing to announce. Any word on Salt Marsh yet? Salt Marsh is coming soon. That's the other piece of news I can mention is we are on track to do a Lamania preview next week. Almost certainly going to be happening on Tuesday of next week, and that's going to include essentially the rest of Salt Marsh, along with updates to what you saw the first preview for Update 50. Now remember, the Epic Destiny stuff is still pushed back beyond that. That's not happening until after Salt Marsh gets released. But next Tuesday, we're going to see really part 2 of Update 50's preview cycle, and that should be essentially everything the rest of Salt Marsh, along with some iteration on what you saw last time around. So it's going to be a pretty big preview, I think, and that'll happen on Tuesday. Almost certainly. I mean, if it doesn't end up happening for some terrible reason, then Kokuma Jobo or someone will let you know on social media and the forums. But at least as of today, odds are very, very strong that we're set for next Tuesday's Lamania preview of Update 50. So that's really, I think, the other bit of news here to get to today. I could mention that the hardcore after party continues through July 20th. That's still a little ways away yet, but, you know, not that far away. So make sure that you get everything done that you want to get done on the hardcore server done by, well, you technically have till about 8 a.m. Eastern on Wednesday the 21st. We're saying it as through Tuesday, July 20th, to get all your stuff off of the hardcore server, because it is going to be getting a wipe. Any thoughts on a Bullywug playable race? Only that we have certainly been hearing from people who would like it, so... Personally, you are not in favor of the new champions, tired of dragging in hires to the shrine to res. I'll be glad when the event is over. Okay, well, you know, there you go. So, any thoughts, progress on fixing illusory weaponry enhancement in Illusionist with magic trait causing DR to not be bypassed when using Bard Swashbuckling? I do not know the status of that bug, I am sorry. I certainly haven't seen it come across the list of change lists to date. But perhaps that will be fixed, hopefully in the near future, for you. Oh, that is supposedly coming in Update 50. Someone's replying. So that must be like a kind of a forum comment. Someone must have confirmed that they're working on that one. Alright, so I have not personally seen the change list on that yet. Perhaps it'll be in Tuesday's notes. Any chance for DDO bonus days? Because you're not sure if you should prepare to TR or not. So, this weekend's bonus days is essentially the Spooky Summer event, and that's all that stuff that's taken place for the final weekend here. After that, we will be doing bonus days, and I don't know if it's marked down yet. Let me double check. It is. Okay, so for everyone that happens to be here... they're going to announce it. It's going to get announced. I'll probably end up rescheduling the announcement on social media. However, not this weekend, but the weekend of July 17th, we're going to be doing a Buddy Boost weekend. So that's the extra XP for everybody in your group, other than you. And that'll kick off and regular time. So... I don't know, maybe that does matter in regards to your TR question. Are DDO points coming back to the DDO market? Currently no plans for that, but we'll see. Still not seeing anything on YouTube, which has me concerned, not that people aren't talking, but that YouTube is not letting me see it. So, yo G, anyone there? Let me know. Alright. Technically, it's got like 22 people watching. YouTube doesn't really do a lot of business in live streaming. To date, anyway. Can we add Alchemist spell components to the Guild Arcane Vendor in Kundarak? No. Those old guild buffs really need to go away. And I think it is unlikely that we would further support that long deprecated system. As a matter of fact, we're making some changes regarding to the guild augment slots in Update 50. I'm pretty sure you saw that on Lamania already, but it's in the notes. Sorry. Getting close to triple class completionist, Jesse over on Facebook. Very nice. Any chance Tabaxi will ever become a playable race? I mean, it would certainly be among the list of races to consider, right? Because if we ever did do another race, you know, you look especially at current, the 5th edition landscape and kind of think about what the options might be, and Tabaxi would probably be on that list. But, does that mean it's ever going to happen? Who knows, right? Who knows? But I'd say it's more likely than Turtles. Actually, Steelstar was on just a couple of weeks ago. But, yeah, I would expect, perhaps as we get either closer to Saltmarsh, or just after Saltmarsh, or actually, at the very least, it would be when we're ready for our next Epic Destiny preview. I would expect to have Steelstar on the show to talk about that. I would also expect to have Sev stop by the show sometime in the relatively near future. You know, obviously not next week, as there is not a show. Maybe the week after, probably not, only because I will have just gotten back, and I will have been busy too much so to coordinate a live stream chat at noon on Wednesday. But maybe the week after, something like that. I don't know. I guess we'll have to talk about it a bit. But that's been on our agenda to do, actually, too, is to have Sev swing by the live stream to do some Q&A. So I'm sure that'll happen here in the pretty near future. People want Bullywug instead of Tabaxi. I would say at the moment that is probably true. People are digging that Bullywug. I have not heard of plans to directly bring everything as nothing back to Grandmaster of Flowers, but remember, we have Renato on Facebook. Not all the Epic Destiny work was immediately put on pause after the preview so that we could get Update 50 out the door. So even internally, not much work has been done outside of a lot of processing of the feedback. But remember, all this Epic Destiny stuff is... It was an early preview to get that initial wave of feedback, and then we explicitly, you know, repeatedly in the announcement, were like, and then we're going to take a break, hit pause on it, and not do any further work on it until after Update 50 is out the door. And that is currently where we are today. So, yeah. I hear the Bullywug dance is pretty good. Does that count? I don't know. I was trying to find my YouTube chat again. Where'd you go? Oh, there we go. All right. There's my YouTube chat. Thank you, everyone. Much appreciated. All right. So I think, honestly, that's about it for the news. We don't have a lot else that I can think of right off the top of my... I can't really think of much else that we can mention here. Yeah. All right, we're caught up on things. So, there we go. Let's head in game, huh? And run a little bit of Night Revels. Just kind of wrap up my last show for a couple weeks here and just kind of hang out and have some fun. So let me, what do I gotta do? Go. Get my picture. So, stuff go. There we go. Ah. I don't know. Do we want to call it? Yeah, I was going to call this up. That's what I'm up to. So, like I say, this has not changed since October, but not everyone saw it last time or got everything. So there are a few cool bits of new things to check out here on the list, and you can see that right here from the Night Revels Trader. This is also where you can get the very nice Ruby of Ghostbane. Oh, I still have some of my ingredients left over, so nice. So I just need to get some spooky almonds, huh? Well, how about we pick up a Ruby of Ghostbane then? That sounds pretty good. Alright, so let's do that. We're gonna go into the crypt, which is where all the quests are there. The folks on the other game side actually have 2 weeks where they don't have to put up with me. You know, you only have 1 week where you get a break from me. I can never remember which ones do which ingredients. You'd think I'd know at this point, but there we go. Let's start at 30. Do I have a favorite Night Revels quest? I don't know that I do.
An overwhelming stench assails you as you begin to explore the hideout.
Alright, what am I doing here? Let me buff myself up slightly. Did I give myself? Yeah, there it is. Hello, zombie kobolds. How you doing? No, fortunately, my turning is not in a very good place at the moment, I guess. I thought it would be better than that, but perhaps I must have swapped out some gear, and I'm missing one of my bonuses somewhere or other. I'll have to check my inventory at some point, see if I can figure it out. Okay, maybe I do. I guess if I was to say my current favorite Night Revels quest would probably be the Von 4 one. Name is currently skipping my brain.
The door is locked tight and can only be opened when the runes are lit. Look for 2 mechanisms that will unlock the door when activated.
I don't actually take much vacation. I don't know how many people know that, but I got to the point where it was like, I kind of keep losing a bunch of vacation every year because I've been maxed out on vacation for like a while now. Years. And, you know, the company, not just during COVID, but in general, actually does kind of care about employee sort of health and productivity and all that other stuff, and recognizes that, you know, you actually do need to take that time off. It's good for you. So, that's what's going on. But the other opportunity is now that, at least locally to me, the COVID situation is pretty good. I'm finally taking that trip to see my family, really for the first time in quite some time. So, I'll be heading out of state, and out of mind, and out of cell phone service in some cases. So, you know, You don't get much more vacation in 2021 as a community manager for a video game studio than a place where you can't even check your cell phone if you wanted to. And that's how it goes. So,
it looks very
but that's going to be me.
found on the locked door in the central corridor.
But not the entire time, of course. Because it is... I'm not, you know... It's remote, but not that remote. But I am going to be doing some camping and things as well in kind of far northern Minnesota. And it is actually true that there are some places where it's just not commercially viable still to operate cell towers because there's no customers, or not nearly enough customers to justify the cost. And so it just doesn't happen. And that doesn't even count when you get up, like, say, toward the boundary waters, right? Can I actually destruct this guy? No. Alright. Ah, pinned. So anyway, that's really what I've got going on. Should be pretty nice. And my brain is half already focused on that. But the main thing I'm doing really in the next couple of days here is to make sure all of the sales and bonuses and all that is scheduled and announced, ready to go. Making sure that we're set for all the messaging we need for next week's Lamania preview. But since it actually is a fairly good time to be taking a couple of days off, because actually it's going to be a little bit of a slower week for me otherwise. Not like it ever is a slow week for me. This would just be when I get caught up on everything I couldn't get to earlier. Instead I'm going on vacation, so. Oh, I forgot about Undeath to Death. What's that doing? Hey, that'll get the job done. Alright, nice. I've been playing on hardcore on that for long enough that I kind of forgot what I was doing here.
The guttural groans of shuffling undead.
It's true. They might be called the Twin Cities, but they're pretty different places. Yeah. You know, the funniest thing about, like, Minnesota, and I think a lot of other people who live in larger states are familiar with this feeling, right? But what was I gonna say? But, for example, like, you know, I'm gonna be flying in to an airport in Minnesota and taking a drive to one of my parents' houses. And it's a 6-hour drive. And it's not one end of the state to the other. It's really the kind of upper part of the lower third of the state to the upper part of the upper third of the state. But no, the middle part of the upper third of the state. So all that just to kind of say that, you know, Minnesota, like Texas and a bunch of other states, is really big compared to what you're used to, especially if you're maybe from the East Coast. In particular, where, you know, Massachusetts and all that sort of thing, these tiny little states that you can drive across in an hour. Well, actually, you can't do that in Massachusetts either, but you know what I mean. Space is much more open over that way, and you kind of forget about it when you spend a lot of time in New England, and then you go back over there and you're like, oh, right. It may take a half hour to go, you know, 5 miles in Massachusetts. But in Minnesota, it's 30 miles to the nearest gas station. You know? So. Yeah. Yeah. Is there any reason, back to business, Tessator asks, is there any reason currency is still capped on characters to the 4.294 million plat? Yes, it is exactly as you described, the limit of a 32-bit integer, and the monetary system is not 64-bit. Theoretically, if there was enough value in it, we could maybe do the fairly extensive work to perhaps change that at some point, but honestly, I don't know that there's really much of a compelling reason for it, is there? I mean, what can't you do with 4.2 million plat that would justify all that engineering time and everything, right? Just saying. How close are we? Yeah! And there's my Ruby of Ghostbane. I'll take it. Is the Daybreak Games website still the right place to look for any Standing Stone Games positions? Yes, it is. On top of that, I would... Actually, I might already have it on this character. Let me see. I do. Okay. I will see if any other characters need it. Where are we on time? We're at 12:30. Oh, I got plenty of time here, then. In the area and interested, so you want to keep an eye out. Yes, as a matter of fact, I would keep an eye out here in the relatively near future. I believe that we are... probably going to be posting up a couple of positions soon. I don't know that they're specifically for DDO. As a matter of fact, I think they're cross-franchise positions, as it were. But if that's not a concern for you, and it shouldn't be if you want to get your foot in the door, I think I'd keep an eye out in the near future. Within the next month or two at the absolute most, we're going to be having a couple of jobs posted. I don't know if I can say more about it, so I won't. I don't know that they are necessarily game development positions, though, so let me be clear about that. That if you're looking for specifically engineering, software, world building, things like that. These probably will not be those positions that I'm aware of. Although maybe. Oh. I wouldn't be told necessarily.
Shapes begin to fall from the ceiling above.
But regardless, we're going to have some jobs. That much I do know, so. Perhaps that is of interest to you. To be honest, it's true I missed a star, it just doesn't matter, right? It just doesn't matter, not when you're getting 200% ingredients and just tearing through this stuff. Or going through this stuff. I'm not tearing through it, because I'm talking and lounging. But, you know what I mean. In general, whatever, man. Who's got time for that? Don't worry about it. Just get it done. Just get all your stuff.
Servants drop from the roof. The creature hisses, "Those that oppose the master shall meet their end."
Let's be on the safe side, yeah. Okay. Has EG7 changed the development direction and or marketing sales strategy of DDO at all? I don't know necessarily the answer would... Oh, maybe if I didn't have my stupid broccoli basher equipped, huh? That'll up my DPS a bit. I guess I must have been fighting the news last time, huh? No wonder my DPS was so bad. Alright. I don't think, I mean, yes, but by way of opportunity, right? So there are certain things that you can leverage with through, you know, some of their marketing and design power and such that we've been able to take advantage of. But in terms of have they, you know, demanded that all of a sudden we make the game X, Y, or Z, that kind of thing. Well, nah, not really. Not really at all. They trust us, and that's... I don't know. That's all I would want to say, I guess. It's been cool. It's been sweet. Got a lot of hit points.
The shriveled corpse crumbles to bits. With the mummy gone, Maxwell Stadler nervously returns to the tavern.
Ah, I should have actually waited to kill Vorn as well. Well, that's fine. I'm actually going to... I guess I will kill Vorn. Nice. Nice going me. That's what I get for not paying attention to what I'm doing. Will season passes be back? I've not heard of any plans to do that. Never say never on any of that kind of thing, though, right? Because it all depends on how things go. But, I haven't really heard of any plans to bring back the season pass. You know, at the time, we had done, what, 1,000 of the season passes. And I remember at the time, you know, there was a lot of discussion about the perceived value of that. In particular, the daily gold rolls. But I know, you know, in hindsight, I think there are quite a few people who, there are quite a few people who would love to have that back again. So perhaps, you know, that's of you know, interest to the discussion of if we ever do it. But I don't know. No real plans, so. No. I cannot imagine us ever having a bug squasher hunter who streams the process. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. For one thing, they're largely working on internal game clients and things like that, so that wouldn't necessarily make sense unless they're doing repro detection, in which case streaming would be bad. So I can't imagine that ever happening, sorry. Yes. A second preview of Update 50 is expected to take place next Tuesday on Lamania. Alright, there we go. Take care of something here. Alright. I am not yet in a position to announce when Update 50 will arrive to the live worlds. We're getting closer, I can say that much. And we do have our second preview taking place on Lamania almost certainly next week, next Tuesday through Thursday, like afternoon. Beyond that, though, I wouldn't want to give a release date today for the release of Update 50. Sorry.
The sound of fleeing townsfolk rises. The door begins to strain as a creature thrashes against it.
And stay down.
The mummy collapses into a pile of scattered bandages and fetid dust.
Fortunately, I have not gone through my gear, but I must be missing one of my big... Because normally my turning is a little better than this. So I must have swapped out one of my sacred or hallowed items. And I don't have it on yet. But I don't know if I really want to spend time doing that on the show here. But I'm a little surprised at my turn undead. Normally I have much more successful turn undead. Especially if I'm running out level like this on Night Revels. So... I'm gonna have to see what I did wrong here. This week's bonus is the final weekend of the Spooky Summer Sales event. That runs through the 11th. And then the following week is going to be a Buddy Boost.
The door opens. In the distance, you can see a lever, which seems to control the next gate.
I don't know, Graskitch. Unfortunately, there are certain elements, as you describe, that we have limited control over. That may be one of them.
The gate opens.
But at the very least, that is something that customer service could assist with if necessary.
The ladder slides into place, allowing access to the rooftops above. The zombie in the courtyard looks strangely familiar. The undead corpse, Roderick Nettle's undead form, slumps to the ground.
Mercy, avenge me.
He gasps. The shield surrounding the witch fades, and he closes to attack.
Go to the aura. That's a lot of fire. If I'm actually, am I actually helpless? Did I take mummy rot? I didn't take mummy rot, did I? No, either way, that'll take care of it. For now. Sure, I'm doing a lot of dancing, though. Yep. I'm not actually... I guess we'll find out, but I'm not actually too worried about dying or anything. Just more that this is going to take forever, because I can dance constantly. Still have that going. Use help save a little bit. Was that not damaging it? That's why. It isn't! Ah, that'll make a difference. Alright. So I'm a little surprised. I guess it'd be because, Avenging Light, huh? See? Nothing. It cares not for my Avenging Light. Pshaw, it says. Avenging what? Yet, out of habit, I still push it. Alright. See, I'm not actually worried about this fire, though. It's not... doesn't really matter. It's fine.
Tattered form falls in defeat, and the feeling of dread that surrounded the Lich fades.
Alright. What do we got else in chat? Was Horizon Walker discussed? No. I expect we will see the most recent updated version of Horizon Walker at next week's Lamania preview. So there should be some stuff there. When you live in Alaska, all other states seem small, I bet. Any plans to develop additional UI skins to choose from? I don't think so. I think if we were to do something there, it might be in the realm of offering additional UI skin support, you know, updating textures, but letting the community do the work for kind of UI skins. That was always only a semi-official project. What would be another new quest for Night Revels? Maybe something from the Feywild, Ravenloft, or City of Sharn. Yeah, I think that that idea of, you know, Ravenloft, Feywild, Sharn, something like that, you know, comes up. Seems possible. When will we see Salt Marsh pricing details? That is going to be
of what it once was.
Probably day of release. Okay, come on. Ah! I wonder if my keyboard's giving me grief. I've kind of, I don't know if you saw the news today, there's like some kind of urgent Windows update. And right before I went live on the air, about 10 minutes before I went live on the air, that little Windows is updating. Windows really wants you to restart, cropped up. And like the fool I am, I was like, you know what, I'll do it later. And I think I'm being punished for my actions. My decision has not met with the approval of the Windows gods. Oops. Crap.
The way ahead is blocked.
Windows 11. Yeah, so I heard word, that kind of hit the internet this week, and I heard word from somebody, was it on Reddit? Was it on Reddit? And I believe it was Lotro, not DDO. But I heard word from somebody who was just like, yeah, it just works. In terms of our Turbine Engine game client stuff. So hopefully that's true. That would be lovely. But it sounds like that maybe I saw at least one. I saw one report of that this week. That it was like, oh yeah, Windows 11 just whatever. If you got a game client working on Windows 10, it'll work on Windows 11. So if that's true, that's pretty sweet. Of course, we will do more official kind of look-seeing and all that as we get closer to Windows 11 presumably being released here, but, you know.
A door opens nearby.
But anyway, so that's the thing. Kind of cool. I would also say, I don't know that I've had an opportunity to say this. Did I bring this up on last Wednesday's show in terms of the Atari VCS, or was that in the other game? Unfortunately, my, sometimes I get confused as to what I said for which channel. However, I happen to have what's called an Atari VCS, and it's really a mini PC hybrid. It's essentially it's a mini PC that has its own kind of Linux-based Atari operating system for what have you. But it's a mini PC. But one of the things it does is allow you to dual boot. So if you have a Windows operating system on like an SSD or something like that, you can just plug it in, and your game console can be a little Windows PC that has, you know, about $250-ish era laptop specs, you know, $300 laptop specs. However, last week, I guess it was last week, got both DDO and Lotro working just fine with it, and DDO in particular was on ultra high settings. You know, it does have a fairly decent chip, even though some of the specs don't necessarily seem like they might lend itself to a DX11 ultra high experience. That was my experience, and that was with a solid 30 frames per second, but 30 frame per second frame rate. So that wasn't terrible. And it could go up to 60, but I had variable bitrate or variable frame rate kind of going. So there you are. But anyway, so that's the. But I thought that might be of interest to some people who are kind of tinkerers out there. I happen to have backed that project back on Indiegogo, you know, in what, 2017, because I'm that kind of Atari nerd. I'm a retro game collector of Atari stuff in particular, the Atari VCS in particular. And so it was obviously, I mean, the thing was literally made for me, right? But I picked one up, and I guess because of, for whatever various factors, I was one of the first to get one. And so, even though the thing didn't go on sale at retail until June 15th, I've had one since before Christmas. But I finally got around, since we were in the kind of stable version of their OS and all that on retail launch. I went in and booted up Windows 10 on an SSD, and then took our own game clients, just as like, alright, well, let's just say that your name is Jerry, and you're the one person who wants to maybe play DDO on your 4K television set, and just kind of have a computer while sitting in a chair, or might want to use it for game demos, convention use, hotel use, travel use, etc. And so I went and did it, and I'm happy to report the experience was actually pretty much flawless. It really was just nothing nothing burger in terms of getting it to work. It just worked. And so that was pretty cool. But since I am literally one of the few people currently in the United States with one, I thought I'd share that bit of news for those who might be interested. There's no official, you know, SSG support because it's just Windows. So, you know. But there you go. No, we are not making an Atari DDO client. Under no circumstances. They would, if even suggesting such a thing would probably lead people to be like, gosh darn it, Jerry, why are you like this? Why are you like this? No, so no. But like I say, it's just a Windows PC at that point, and you can get DDO running on it good, so... But for me in particular, I'm actually kind of excited about it because, you know, I do travel a fair amount sometimes. And we have had times where I've had to, let's just say, for example, like a future PAX East hangout or something like that. You know, as it stands currently, I've had to haul some kind of, you know, $500, hang on. Desktop client, you know, lug it around, what have you. And thankfully, I've not had to do that. Or this provides an option that I would not have to do that. Kind of nice. For exactly me. Chris Famous Word, the next Lamania preview is scheduled for next Tuesday. And it should be the basic latter half of that which was not previewed in the first preview, along with iterations to the stuff that you saw in the first preview. What about your Menic Taran items? What in particular do you need to know about the Menic Taran items? I would suggest taking a look at the last Lamania preview thread to kind of take a look at what's going to be happening there. As far as I'm aware, there haven't been a lot of changes to the Scroll Seal shard stuff between these previews, because I think it was generally going pretty well. However, you know, some additional work I know had to be done, but that's, you know, that's just process. Oh, you need to know if there will be a legendary Ring of Spell Storing. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that sounds like a terrible idea. Sorry. I think I would personally be strongly against us bringing a legendary Ring of Spell Storing to the game. Just saying. I don't really need to go into the why, right? Because sitting there basically taking hits to never have to worry about spell points is such a poor gameplay experience. I would hate to get back to a place where it's like, oh, hang on, I got a block in front of X for a while. You know. You don't want that. Okay, let's just go.
You spot shapes up ahead. Evil creatures that have been called forth by the endless night.
Oh, you're right. I'm thinking about the torque. You're right. I'm thinking about the torque. Can you tell I need to go on vacation? Yeah. There you go. But the Ring of Spellstarring, there are a couple. In the same way that I don't think we're bringing back the Sword of Shadows, right? Some of these super powerful outlier items that have kind of, you know, they're let's say, be real, they're an artifact of old era development and things like that. And, you know, it's scaled in unintended ways over the years. You want to be careful, right? Because you wouldn't want to tie the hands of the item team for years to come like those items did already, and then have it be a problem throughout the whole, you know, either 20 to 30 leveling process or 30 to whatever leveling process or what have you, right? So you wouldn't want to repeat mistakes of the past just because they're OP, you know? So, we'll see. Maybe. But I hadn't heard of the Ring of Spellstarring, right? And you're right, I just confused it with Torque there, but... regardless, I think it's in the same bucket, is it not? I'm sorry, I don't know at JCOM what you're asking about. Do I feel you're giving what they want reflection before vacation time? Sorry, I don't actually know what you're asking. I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at chat. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to better understand what I'm being asked. It sounds like someone is asking me to self-criticize myself, which is okay. So I'm not 100% sure what I'm being asked. I'm sorry. Do know, however, I'm going the wrong. Oh no, actually, I just need to do. Where are these shadows, and why are they not here? Anyone know where those shadows are supposed to be, and why I'm not seeing them? It's a bummer. Must have left a shadow aggroed somewhere. I guess, yeah. I mean, I love what I do, and I believe that I don't take it for granted. I certainly try not to take the work I do for granted. I do appreciate that I'm in a... Oh, thank you. Yeah! I do appreciate that I am in a unique position, and one that I am most grateful for. So, part of why I don't take a lot of vacation time over the years is because I enjoy what I do. So there we go. I think we're going to wrap it up, though, for the show. So, thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Again, no show next Wednesday, but I will be there the following Wednesday. And stay tuned for that preview. I hope it goes well. I think it's going to go well, and hopefully you have a lot to look forward to. Saltmarsh is coming up fairly soon, so the timing is pretty good in terms of my vacation time here. And we do have all the basics covered outside of the Chronicle, of which there will not be one this week and next. And I'll be doing all the scheduling in that later today. So thank you, everyone, for being here, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Bye-bye.